This first training video is going to give you information about fish and the fish tags. Each fish tag has these 3 dots. Each dot represents a different color and the aggression of the fish. Green dots mean that they are tropical community fish and they are non-aggressive. When you come down here, you will see the yellow. Yellow means that they are semi-aggressive, that they like to chase other fish around, but not necessarily try to eat them. And then we have the red dot. The red dot means that they are super aggressive and will try to kill and eat other fish. Red dot is for expert fish hobbyists. We don't really recommend to customers purchasing any of the fish that have a red dot if they only have a small tank. Okay, this video I am going to be reviewing on cleaning and maintenance. As you can see, this tank has a lot of algae growth on the front, on the sides, and on the back. At any point in time that it says work on tanks, it means to scrub the front, the sides, and the back to get all the algae growth off of it. We keep the cleaning supplies and the scrubbies and the scrapers right here on our shelving. We usually soak them in this bucket to keep down fish parasites and fish sickness. So when you go to do fish tank maintenance, you just come over here to the shelf and look in this bucket for the little scrubbies. And here's an example of one of the handheld scrubbies. Now, back over to the fish tank maintenance. When scrubbing the front, the algae off the back and the sides, we call it fronting the fish tanks. Even though it's called fronting, it doesn't mean just to scrub the inside front glass. It means to scrub the front, the sides, and the back. Also, when customers are buying fish and they show any interest in goldfish, goldfish are cold water fish, meaning they do not require a heater in their tank. But with that being said, only goldfish should live with goldfish. Not just because they are cold water fish, but their urine is really high in ammonia, and tropical community fish usually can't handle the amount of ammonia. Okay, here's the next video on showing you what partialing is and how to do it correctly. This is a siphon hose. Usually we run it out the back door to make it a lot easier versus draining the dirty water into a garbage can and then having to dump the dirty water out the back door. So this, you just run the hose out the back door so the water goes directly out there. Now I'm going to use this fish tank here as an example. In the goldfish tank, it needed to be partialed anyway. Let's see if I can get a better view here. So the trick is on getting the water going, the siphoning. You put the tube down into the water, and then you will see an air bubble in the tube. You want to get the air bubble to go all the way out, and then you stand the tube up, and you'll see the air bubble in the hose right here. So once the air bubble is right here, do an up and down motion, and watch the air bubble move halfway down the tubing. Once it gets halfway down, then gravity takes hold and the water is now being siphoned out. So once the water is being siphoned and it's working, you want to do an up and down motion in the gravel of the fish tank, so that way it sucks all the algae growth and all the fish feces and the extra food out, but leaves the gravel in there. I'm going to grab the camera and do a close-up so you can see a little better here. As you can see, it is sucking up all the nasty stuff that is in the gravel. It gets a little bit of gravel in the tubing, and all you do is just tap on the side to get the gravel to fall back down. And you want to do this several times throughout the gravel, in different locations in the bottom of the tank, so that way you get all the nasty stuff out. This takes anywhere from maybe 10-15 minutes to clean the nasty stuff out of the gravel. You know, sometimes you have to stir the gravel up a little bit so that way you can get the big chunks that are way down in the gravel. Now, something very important to know when siphoning and getting the nasty stuff out of the gravel, I'm gonna change the camera here a little bit. These tanks are connected. All three tanks is one large tank, just sectioned off. So when you take water out of this tank, it's going to take the water level down on the one next to it. So you just do just enough siphoning to get all the nasty stuff out of the gravel in one, and then you move to the next one. You never take the water further down than about right here. And zoom out here. If you take too much water out of the fish tank, when you add new water in, it could possibly put the fish into shock because of the temperature difference, and it changes the nitrates and the pH balance. So you never want to do more than maybe a 50% water change in the fish tanks. So now you are done taking dirty water out of the fish tank. So the next step would be is to come back behind the fish tanks to the two large garbage cans. The garbage can that you're going to choose is the one that has the pump and hose in it. And you're going to take this garbage can over here to the sink. Let's get this thing over here. And you are going to unhook from here. Place the sprayer in the garbage can like so, and turn the hot water on. Once you have the hot water running into the garbage can, you will go to these cabinets that's right above the cricket table and find an item called AquaSafe. Now with the AquaSafe, you only add 2 capfuls to the garbage can. 2 capfuls treats the amount of water that is in the garbage can. The reason that we use hot water on filling it up is all of our fish tanks, with the exception of the goldfish, have heaters in them. So the water that we add to the tanks needs to be warm water, so that way it doesn't put the fish in shock from the temperature difference. Now, if you are refilling the goldfish section, you will not use the hot water. You will just use straight cold water into the garbage can. You also use cold water when filling up our feeder fish tanks.